Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3, and today I'm going to be giving you part 23 of What If Naruto Was Neglected with Jashin sealed inside of him. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Was Neglected and Lost Everything over on Anime King 2. And also over on Anime King, I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto's a Hope of the Uchiha clan, so go ahead and check out that and enjoy guys. And remember, if you're new, to go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, would you say begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last spot we left off, as the Akatsuki had gathered once again, but this time, they were out to gather the tail pieces. But things weren't looking so good for them given the fact that they could not find the start or the end. The one and the nine-tailed Jinchuriki seemed to have vanished off the face of the earth. There was a new member of part of the Akatsuki, and that was none other than the last Uchiha, if you did not know about the masked man. Sasuke Uchiha joined the Akatsuki, and he was now a full-fledged member of the organization. Although, he worked closely with the masked man, who has been his teacher, his trainer over the past couple of years. Sasuke was no longer the same person that he once was. He had changed a lot, but he still had one clear goal, and that was to burn Naruto Uzumaki into nothingness. Yes, it didn't matter what or when it happened, but he will find him and make sure he slaughtered him. At Konoha, as the village has been through a lot, the San was gaining their friendship back with a lot of work, because Minato made it difficult for them because of what they did. But they were willing to go through it all to have Konoha back in them, because at the moment they were weak, incredibly so after their demise at the tournament. Not to mention they lost their Jinchuriki. The San was a former shell of itself, so they had to succumb to all of Leaf demands, and they did. At least they were gaining some sort of friendship back with them, and that is what they wanted from the beginning, because they didn't want to lose them at this dangerous time where things could go either way or either. With that, his son came back home. Minmas gained a reputation for himself, as he got the name as a second Flash. He was always a daddy's boy, something Naruto always mocked him on, and it was true, because he always wanted to follow in his father's footsteps, and he did everything just like his father, as he was able to learn the Hyrule as well. Not as in-depth as his father, but he could use it. It's a reason why he was called the second Flash, as Konoha was growing more dangerous as the time went on. All of the ninjas that attacked them were hidden stone ninjas, but they had that slash through their headband, saying that they were missing names. But neither Jiraiya or Minato believed that missing names were popping up so quickly, one after another. The hidden stone was trying something, and Minato would be damned if he let another war broke through and harm his people. He was gonna try and quell this as soon as possible. Minato sparred with his son though, and he was truly impressed. Minma's come a long way, and Mito as well. She has grown into a fine kunoichi. Ami has been training with Kushina, as she learned her fighting style from her sister, Yujiu, and she has been training with Kushina to practice her swordsmanship. After all, Kushina was a master swordswoman, and Ami has gotten a lot stronger the past couple of years. Everyone has grown. Minma was just happy to be back with his loving girlfriend. When Hinata saw him though, she was frightened because she thought it was the other one, but she was happy to see that it was Minma. Even after all these years and her growth, she was still not able to forget him, and she hated herself for that. She felt disgusted every time she thought about him. Meanwhile, as Naruto emerged once again, as he has been quiet for the past 3 years, but now he emerged. His first dangerous act was to take on a Kumo group, not just any group, the group that contained a Jinchuriki as he left. One girl alive, it was none other than Samui, as she had to run back to the village and inform the Raikage of what Naruto told her, as Naruto was going to cause problem with Konoha and the hidden cloud at the moment. Yujito tried her best as she even transformed fully, but yet she stood no chance, as Naruto brutally humiliated her like she was nothing and took her, like she was nothing but a prize to be won. As he left with her, he had other plans, bigger plans. So yeah guys, that's basically that's what I thought. You guys can switch across, please check it out for yourself. So this will begin this new episode. It was currently night time, as Naruto was lying down in a rather large comfy bed. Gaara was wrapped up in his arms, sleeping peacefully. Inside of Naruto's mindscape, the Kyuubi was asleep, but Jashin was nowhere to be seen. Jashin was deep within Naruto's subconscious, deep inside. She had been hoping that Naruto's blood clone could free her so that she could walk this earth and find a way to make it permanent, but no, it was a failure. Because of who she wasn't allowed to walk this earth. Neither was her brother. He was summoned and used by people, something that she found rather pathetic. But no longer would that happen for her. That is why she was gonna do it no matter what. Her mind was set. A part of her felt saddened for doing this Naruto. But she had to. She had to. What was she kidding? She was a being of malice. She was a being of corruption, a being of lie, a being of deceit. Why would she care about a damn, simply human? Despite his ascension, he was still not in her league. He was still nowhere close to her strength. He was not worthy to walk beside her. That was what she told herself to justify what she was doing, because she knew that she was doing a terrible thing, despite the terrible things that she'd done in her past. She actually cared about this human. After all, he looked towards her like no one else did, with happiness, with lust, something that she rather enjoyed. He looked towards her as his savior, like she was the one that saved him from all of his pain in the past, which she kind of did, and kind of caused as well. But he still loved her no less. But it did not matter, her mind was set as her nails extended. A representation of his mind, his body and soul. As this entire place was, she was deep within his subconscious. As she leaned towards the ground and stabbed her nails in it. As she opened her mouth and spewed black smoke out of it. The smoke traveled deep within him. It will take some time for it to fester, but she was not only pouring her power inside of him, no, she was merging herself. And when the process began fully, it was going to be immense for him. But she will emerge, and she'll be able to walk this world like she always wanted, do things that she's never been able to do before because she was just a being there to watch and observe, whisper and corrupt, but never to be able to physically touch the earth. But now she would. Unknown to her though, with completely linking herself to Naruto, she was given the Shinigami a gateway to do this. As Naruto woke up, but he did not wake up with Gaara in his arms, and that pissed him off. As he looked around confused by the place he was in. Jashin, Zana, the Kyuubi, told him that she wanted to be called Zana. The Kyuubi was her title, and she preferred the name Zana. That was what she wanted, and they were more than happy enough to agree with that. Zana was a beautiful name after all. As Naruto wondered where the hell he was or what the hell was going on, that was when something formed in front of him. Something that confused him greatly, because he's never seen something like this before. Yet he was not scared. There was not many things that scared Naruto. Well, something did scare him, but it wasn't someone that he was afraid of. It was something happening. But he wouldn't be thinking about that right now as he looked towards the thing that formed in front of him. A creature with golden eyes with black slits in it. Its skin was purple, white hair, and a white yukata. "Who the hell are you?" said Naruto. "You feel no fear, do you, child? Why the hell should I be afraid of you? I don't even know who the hell you are," said Naruto. "She has truly twisted you and changed you." "I'm gonna ask you one more time," said Naruto. "Who the hell are you?" As his eyes narrowed dangerously. "Don't fret, child. Neither of us can harm each other in here. I just merely wish to talk." Well, I don't feel like I want to talk to you. You dried up old prune, said Naruto. Now, would you mind releasing me or telling me how to get the hell out of here? She's gonna betray you. What? Jashin. How do you... As Naruto narrowed his eyes. Are you the Shinigami? He asks. You know of me? Yes. She told me that you were her brother. A corrupted, twisted person that hated to see her strive, that hated to see her stronger than him. And you would do anything to put her down. You know, as Naruto looked toward his hand as a spear formed his hand out of darkness as he threw it, it passed right through the Shinigami. As Naruto appeared above him and dropped his feet, but it simply passed right through him. As Naruto landed with a boom, the ground wasn't even cracked, despite the force they put into it. Huh. Thought I could kill you to make her happier, said Naruto. But guess not. Even if we were in the same plane of existence, you cannot kill me. You understand what I am? Yeah, I don't need your lecture bullshit, said Naruto. Now tell me, what do you want? As I said, she's gonna betray you. And I'm just here to warn you. You need to release her. I've placed a seal on her. Yes, I know about that, said Naruto. You're the one that placed her inside of me. A mistake on my part. But I had to do something. But I made a mistake. I made a big mistake. And that has come back to haunt me. In more ways than one. And how is that, said Naruto? Your body. She's gonna use you as a conduit. A what? She's gonna use your body as a conduit. And in doing so, she will be able to use it to break through reality. Something that she was not meant to do. And enter this world. In doing so, everyone will be doomed. The balance will be shift. And my sister would use it towards her demand. To make herself untouchable. And this whole world, perhaps this whole universe, will change. And she would change it to her liking. That sounds great, said Naruto. Why would I care? You don't understand. To do this, she must betray you in the worst way possible. Suffering that you wouldn't understand you would receive. She would never do that to me, said Naruto. And why not, Shinigami asked. Because she loved me. Love? Us beings do not understand the meaning of that word that you humans speak about so fondly. I assure you, she does not care about you. My sister has lived for years that you can't even comprehend. Why would she care about a lonely mortal? That is something that you would never understand, said Naruto. You can go take your warning and shove it up your ass because I don't give a damn. As I said, she would never betray me. Now, let me out of here. You must understand, human. No, you must understand. I don't give a damn what you have to say, said Naruto. She would never do something like that to me. The Shinigami looked at Naruto with a snarl, as he seemed angry. What? You upset? Your stupid plan of ruining our relationship failed. Well, go and screw yourself, said Naruto. As Shinigami vanished, and Naruto blinked, his eyes open. He was somewhere different. Naruto-kun, as he turned to see Jashin standing there. What was that, she said. She could not see their conversation, but she felt something. Guess what? Somehow your brother got to me. My brother. Her eyes narrowed slightly. What did he say? Well, he was going on about you betraying me. Pitiful. I know that you would try to do something like that. Lucky thing I warned you, she said. Yeah, said Naruto. Well, it's not like I would have believed him anyway, as he stepped forward. I never doubted you, and I won't start now because of what your idiotic brother said. She wrapped her arms around him, feeling his tight, packed muscles. Of course I would never betray you. He's just jealous. Don't worry. We'll deal with him soon enough. Yeah, I'll make him suffer for what he did to you, said Naruto. He was the one who betrayed you as a family. Yes, truly. Wicked brother he was. But at least I have you now, she said, as she leaned her head on his chest. He has grown so tall. As she just relaxed into his touch. As Naruto placed a firm arm around her. As she listened to his heartbeat. The more she heard it, the more terrible she felt. Time skip. As Minato was surprised when the envoys informed that the Raikage was here. The Raikage had come straight towards Konoha. The Raikage was not a naive person despite people thinking that he was rash because of his rather hyperactive behavior. But he was not a naive person, and he would not throw his people into war just because someone says so. That is why the man wanted to be here to confirm something. But if it was true, he would surely start a war with the Hidden Leaf. Minato was currently standing in front of the man, in one of the many rooms in the tower. As he looked towards the man that stern look, the man seemed furious. I'm surprised. Cut the bullshit! I'm just here to confirm something. Did you send your shinobi after my Jinjulki? As Minato narrowed his eyes, I'm unaware of what you're talking about. One of my Jinjulkis were speared by your son. My son? Said Minato, knowing that Minma would never... As Yoraikage saw the look on the man's face, utter shock and disbelief. You don't know. Either Minato was a wonderful liar or he did not know. Minato shook his head. What happened? Well, your son. He's going around informing people that you threw him out of Konoha as an act, and you're using him to attack the other villages, and Konoha would not take any responsibility because he's a missing nin. Minato knew exactly who the Raikage was talking about. I assure you, Raikage Dano, he said, I have nothing to do with this. But I can see, you came all the way here because you wanted to confirm if I was lying or telling the truth. Because just like me, you don't want your people to fight a war based on a lie. Am I correct? The Raikage nodded. But if you weren't behind this, what is he playing at? What does he want? That I cannot tell you, said Minato, because I don't know myself. I haven't seen or heard anything from him in the past 3 years. And I assure you, as much as you want him dead, I want him dead even more. The Raikage saw looking at the eyes. The man was dead serious. He truly wanted that boy dead. The Raikage could see it from the look. That is what he needed. That is what he came here to confirm. After all, just like Minato said, he didn't want his people to die in a war that was based on a lie for something that's stupid, but this action will not go unpunished. I will find that boy of yours. And when I do, he won't be brought back to Konoha. I will tear him apart with my bare hands, said the Raikage. Minato did not object to that. Naruto has made a lot of enemies. I assure you, nothing will come out of this with Konoha. Naruto is like any other mixing nin, despite being my son. Do with him as you see fit. Minato was not going to justify Naruto's actions to anyone. That boy had went beyond his protection, and protecting him now would just be a waste of time. Something that Minato would not do. Time skip. As quick as he came, he left. The Raikage was not a fan of Konoha or of Minato. He just wanted to confirm something. Now, Kumo ninjas will be scouring for Naruto. It will not only be Konoha ninjas and Onvus Kumo involved now, as they were after him, after his head to be more precise. The Raikage was dead set on finding that boy and pulverizing him with its own bare hands. But as for all of them, looking for the beast, the beast itself was standing on the cliff looking down. Over his shoulder was the body of Yujito. As Naruto looked down into the depths of the water where something was rising up, it made him smile as he looked down towards the creature down below. He tossed her body like a sack of meat, and the water arose. Something large emerged and grabbed her before pulling her back into the depths of the water as bones snapped violently. The creature, whatever it was, ripped her apart. As Naruto then turned his back and walked off without even looking back. As he was walking, he stopped for a moment because his vision became hazy. He shook his head, ignoring that, as he continued to walk. It was gone a second later. Inside the mindscape, as Kyuubi opened her eyes slowly. She was going by the name Zana now. That is what she wanted what to call her. And they did. As Zana looked towards Jashin with a curious look, Jashin looked back at her without saying a word. The Kyuubi could feel it. Naruto might not, but Jashin was a part of Naruto, and she could feel it in his system. What have you done? Keep your mouth shut. You will not say a word to him. What? What are you doing? More precisely, what have you done, said Zana, as she placed her hand on the ground. This is not ordinary. What are you doing? She asked once again. As I said, you will not say anything to him. And what to stop me from, you will not. As the cable went quiet, you and I have shared a bond over the past couple of years, different from any bonds that any humans has ever done with each other. They might perhaps call it love, but it's not that. You have changed. One aspect of that is you're here, and a part of you is now indebted to me. My very soul, my body. I'm able to corrupt chakra, and given the fact that you're made from pure chakra, you are an easier target for me. What have you done to me? I have turned you to my side. It doesn't matter how much you want to tell him, you can't, because you would do anything for me. Come here. As much as she didn't want to, Zana found herself walking over as she sat down on Jashin's lap, as Jashin placed 2 arms around her. As I said, you're mine, and I'm taking you with me, don't worry. But this will kill him. He was just a means to an end. You aren't going to stop this, aren't you? No. This is what I want from the beginning. Sorry for tricking you, but you can understand, right? Yes, said Zana. Now that's my girl, said Jashin. But don't you care about him? Asked Zana. Frankly, no, she said. As Zana didn't ask any more questions, as Jashin had a far-away look in her eyes despite saying that she did not hear, she looked quite saddened. Time skip. It's been 3 years since that little brat showed his face here. Kurosaki told her grandfather to stop wasting their man, because he was not going to come back. It was just a ploy. Despite him being able to destroy tons of guys, it was just a ploy. She told her grandfather to stop wasting her man as missing names, to take down Konoha Shinobi, although she wanted the betterment of the Hidden Stone. With their people dying out, their numbers are getting less, as countless Konoha Shinobi has been brought down, and more of theirs has been brought down as well. As much as she hated to say it, Konoha Shinobis were more efficient and a lot stronger, but she would never say that out loud. And that was something she hated. Oniki was starting to get angry. Things were not going his way, and this boy hasn't shown himself for the past couple of years. It made Oniki start to lose his patience. He has used his ninjas, his own ninjas as missing names, to make them take down Konoha Shinobis after Konoha Shinobis. But if this carry on, Minato will catch on to the rows. He probably already did, but he had no evidence. But a man could just take so much. He would definitely fight back. And if he had no way to counter the Harushin, the man snarled as he thought about the other brat, the second flash, following right in his father's footsteps, that pissed Onki off to no end. Suddenly, an envelope flashed into the man's office. Sir, code black, the man said. Onki was the one that created that code and knew exactly what it stand for. Bring him in. Make sure to keep an eye on him, said Onki. The envoy nodded as he flashed away. So finally, he decided to show his damn face as he pressed an intercom button on his table. Moshi, he said, as someone spoke up from the other end. Yes, Shishikage-sama. Tell Kurosaki that his time. At once. Time skip. A good 5 minutes later, as Naruto entered the office. Well, it's been a long time, he said. Kurosaki narrowed her eyes in surprise. She knew that he would probably get taller or something else, but she didn't expect this one bit. Not at all. As Naruto was even taller than her now. Not to mention his muscles got so much defined. He was wearing a black cloak that completely showed off his chest. As she had to say, he was good looking. If she didn't know what kind of heartless monster he was, he would be a fine candidate to be with. But that wasn't a part of her plans. She was here because she was next in line to become Tishikage. She had to know the ins and outs of what was going on in the village. So you finally decided to show yourself. I was starting to think that I will have to scrap the plan entirely. Oh don't, said Naruto. I was just busy doing a few things. But I saw that you've gotten through wonderfully. I hear that Konoha ninjas have been dropping one after another by missing names from the Hidden Stone who have a grudge against them. Good play on your part. But everything is gonna fall in line soon enough. Have you heard about the second flash? Asked Kurosaki. You mean my stupid brother, said Naruto. As Naruto laughed. This is no laughing matter, said Kurosaki. If that boy learn how to master the Harashin, it doesn't matter, said Naruto. I'll rip him apart with my bare hands. You are truly confident in your strength, said Kurosaki. Well, when you know what you can do. If you aren't confident, you're weak, said Naruto. Bold statement. But it is time. How exactly are you planning on countering the Harashin? Well, it's quite simple, said Naruto. But, sorry, it's only something I can do. What? Said Unki. No need to fret, old man, said Naruto. Calm yourself as Naruto sat down on the couch in the office. I will take Minato and the second flash. Ridiculous name, said Naruto. And you can take the rest of them. Well, as long as you don't touch my sister or my mother, the whole family is mine. You are hell-bent on killing them, aren't you? Said Kurosaki. Well, it's kind of my dream, said Naruto. Wicked, beautiful dream. As long as you get your damn father out of the way. The other shouldn't be a problem. Well then, I guess we have no problems here, said Naruto. Time skip. At the land of March, a distance away from the Fire Country, a Chunin team was sent out towards the village. The land of March was really important to Konoha because they gave them produce and a lot of it. Yes, they sell specifically to Konoha. And the problem was that they were being attacked. In the message that came back to Konoha, it was bandits. A group of bandits. Minato wasn't too sure. That is why he sent Chunins there. A C-rank mission should be easy for a Chunin team, a 4-man squad. 4 Chunins, quite capable of handing off any normal missing names come their way, or any group of bandits. Minato shinobis were being stretched thin because of what was going on. But when one of the owls from the land of March came back, a report from a leader of the Chunin team, the oldest one there, and the most experienced, saying that they were pinned down by a group of bandits and it was too much. They needed help. Minato wasn't so sure if this was a ruse to catch his people off guard, so he needed a tracking team. That is why he sent Team 8 with a boy known as Ryu Inuzaka to take the place for Kiba, the missing member of the group. Given the fact that Shino and Hinata had passed Genin level, they were no longer obligated to be a part of a team with their Jonin sensei. So, the team has not been filled. But they did missions together with just the 3 of them, Kurenai and her 2 students. But now they need an extra member. But if this was a trap in case, Minato sent 2 of his best in the shadows, and that was Kakashi and Menma. Menma learned the Harashin has become a dangerous foe on his own. There was a reason why he was called the second flash. They were supposed to flank Team 8 and make sure everything was fine. When Team 8 arrived at Land of March, Ryu sniffed around. I smell blood, he said. As they arrived, they hadn't even entered the village yet. Byakugan. As Hinata Byakugan vision spread, she saw Menma and Kakashi. They were just a distance off, just in case. That is when she saw it. Bodies, waiting for them. Kurenai sensei, I found them, she said. But they're all dead. Her eyes went wide as she spun around the next moment as something was thrown. She quickly shifted her body out of the way as the thing crashed towards the ground. A head, a severed head. 3 more heads were then thrown after them. Instantly, Menma flashed into the fray along with Kakashi. As the group stood there, waiting, the person who had threw the heads after them was blocking the entrance towards the Land of March. Well, I knew he would send someone more important than these wastes of space here, but I never thought it would be so delighted. Menma's eyes turned murderous as he instantly recognized this monster in front of him. Hinata's eyes went wide and she never saw him. But how couldn't she see him? She had her beacon activated. Wasn't she not focused or something? Kakashi narrowed his eyes dangerously. This was bad. Worse than he expected. Seeing his former student after so many years, he could only judge that his strength has grown. Oh, who's that? As Ryu bared his teeth towards Naruto. Judging from your smell, you smell like a wet dog. As Naruto tilted his head. Oh, I'm right, he said. As Ryu had a dog. Yes, black and white as he was behind him as he stepped forward, growling dangerously. So I'm guessing you're the new Kiba. Huh. Maybe I should rip your heart out as well. What are you doing here? Said Kakashi, trying to at least talk. Oh, Sensei. I almost didn't see you there, said Naruto. Well, you know, taking a stroll in the country road. So and so. So you did this. You faked this mission, said Kurenai. Fake? Oh no, that wasn't me, said Naruto. But I do have someone to thank for that. But I must say it was rather wonderful that my father decided to send you guys here. He's not your father. You're nothing but a disgusting monster, Minma said. And I've been waiting for this, so I can finally put you down. Oh brother, I almost didn't see you there. Heard you got a new nickname. What was it, the second Flash? That was really stupid. Well, I guess I was right to read the our daddy's boy. Always mimicking our father. Stop calling him that. You are not our family. He has disowned you. You are nothing but scum. Lovely Hinata, said Naruto. My, you have grown. Whoa. Your breasts have surely gotten large. I must say I'm intrigued. Don't look at me, you monster, she said. On behalf of every Konoha ninja and the Hokage, you are sentenced to death for all your actions. Oh, is that so? As suddenly Naruto felt himself being enveloped as a large tree rose from the ground and grabbed him. Do it, said Kurenai, as Naruto was placed in a genjutsu. Minma wasted no time as he threw his Harasshin forward. The Harasshin kunai flipped through the air at incredible speed as he flashed next to Naruto next second. As Kurenai hold him in her genjutsu, it was done. He was too overconfident and too cocky, and now he was gonna... Everyone was shocked. Minma didn't waste any time bringing his kunai down towards Naruto's neck the moment he caught it. But the scary part was, Naruto grabbed Minma's hand. Shidori! As Kakashi came in the next second as he drive the Shidori towards Naruto's chest. Their order was clear, they were to kill him. As the Shidori came plummeting down. As Naruto's eyes were focused on Kakashi's hand, something that Kakashi Sharingan noticed as Naruto moved fast. His speed was unnatural. Despite Kakashi seeing the move, he could not block it because his body just couldn't react fast enough. Minma was coming down as well as Naruto twists and pulled the both of them by grabbing their arms. He swung them around and released them, throwing them back. Getsuga! As Ryu came down with his dog, as Naruto jumped right into the Getsuga. As two things landed. As Naruto had something in his hand, well, in both hands. In one hand he had the beating heart of Ryu, and in his other hand he had the puppy head, which he tossed aside. Just like Kiba, said Naruto, as he smiled to himself. As Naruto felt his body being invaded once again, before his smile turned devilish. You red-eye bitch, he said. Can't you get it through your thick skull? Your stupid genjutsus can't work on me. As Naruto felt, something tried to crawl up his skin. Shino was perplexed as he took a step back, as he felt his bugs being burst. This was not chakra. Whatever it was vile and corrupted towards his bugs. You want to insult me, said Naruto. In a playful tone he said it. Well then, have your bugs suck me dry, he says. He extended his hand. He ducked as Minma's feet swiped over his head. A little too slow there, brother, said Naruto. I guess little brothers will always be slow. Minma looked down at him as Minma was pissed for him to be called him little brother, not to mention saying that he was slow as Minma charged a Rasengan. The thing obliterated the ground. Kakashi rushed in as he blocked Naruto's fingers from piercing through Minma's back. Minma stood there with wide eyes. How did he get behind him so fast? Kakashi ducked as Minma's feet split through the sky as Naruto grabbed it, by the ankle and twist him as he slammed Minma into Kakashi, throwing the both of them away. Hinata came charging in as she slammed a hit right in Naruto's chest. As Naruto staggered back, her eyes became determined as she slammed her hand one after another. A kunai came flashing towards Naruto's head as Minma appeared, a Rasengan in hand. "Die, you scum," he said, as he brought the Rasengan straight towards Naruto's face. As Naruto smirked, he reached up and grabbed Minma's hand, shocking Minma. Minma tried to flash away, but something seeped into his body that unnerved his chakra, and he could not properly produce it. As the Rasengan was still flaring, as Naruto turned Minma's hand. "No," said Minma, as Naruto pushed it straight towards Hinata. It slammed right in her shoulder, throwing her back. As he released Minma, Minma felt his chakra fluctuation and turned back normal as he flashed towards his kunai and grabbed Hinata quickly. Checking over her, Naruto felt something pierce through his back, as the tip of a kunai pierced through his chest. "And just like that, it's done," said Kakashi. As Naruto's arms dropped, Kurenai got a look of relief on her face. They did it. They killed him. He was dead. The next second, Kakashi cried out in pain, causing Kurenai's eyes to go wide, as Kakashi dropped down to the ground, holding on to his stump, where his left hand used to be, that was now gone. As Naruto reached around and ripped out the kunai out of his back and looked towards it, he then tossed it towards the ground. And that's where you messed up, Copy Ninja. Thinking that you can kill me. You should know by now. I am something that is unkillable, said Naruto as he stepped forward, a mad, twisted look on his face. You really think you could kill me? Me, said Naruto. You pathetic excuse of a ninja just going around, copying people's technique, with that pathetic excuse of a Sharingan that you call your own. Perhaps I should rip it out of your skull. Yes, that would be a rather flattering sight, said Naruto, as he stepped towards Kakashi. As Naruto turned just in time to grab Minma's arm, Minma brought her in a kick and it slammed into Naruto's face, dazzling him backwards. Minma jumped back as he pulled out 3 more kunai as he threw them forward. As he went through hand sign, the kunais multiplied as they all surrounded Naruto like a minefield. Shino quickly grabbed Kakashi and moved him, as Minma vanished in a blur, as it was like a ball of lightning around Naruto. Yellow flash going everywhere. As Minma came in, as Kurenai watched, she couldn't even pinpoint what was going on. But, strangely enough, Naruto hadn't fallen yet. But it scared her to her very soul when she saw Minma was thrown back harshly as he crashed into the ground. Hinata pulled herself up as she winced in pain. How? Said Kurenai. As she saw Naruto step forward, there was a slash in his chest, only one. But black smoke seeped from it, and it was back to normal. I must say, for someone who was said to master the Irish in, you're rather pathetically slow, said Naruto. Minma grit his teeth as he got up. I mean, I could see the delay. I guess you aren't as good as our father, said Naruto just to take Minma off. Pathetic. I wonder if he's disappointed. Someone who thinks that he's strong enough to rival him and be next Hokage, and yet you can't even stop poor little me, said Naruto. The group looked rather fearful. You people should have known what you have walked into. That you have walked into death and chaos. Stop this, said Hinata. Don't kill anyone else. As she realized something right there and then. They could not defeat him. They could not win. Minma didn't understand how this was possible. He trained so hard for 3 years. He thought he had a knack. Minma flashed through hand signs. He released a massive, turned off wing towards Naruto that slammed into him. As Naruto winced in pain, but yet he wasn't acting like it hurt. He was loving it. His face showed nothing but glee and delight. As he reached up and licked his lips, his eyes showed nothing but craziness. As his body was cut severely, despite that he stood there, dripping blood and enjoying the sweetful taste of pain. What are you? Said Minma. I am your demise. Not just you, but everyone else. And now, I think I might show you why all of these years you spent was for nothing. Don't you touch them, Minma, says his eyes change. Oh, I was looking for that, said Naruto. You know, I was gonna come after our dear little sister next to rip the remaining power of the KB out of her. Mother had stopped me from ripping all of it out of you, because you would die. A good way to die, don't you think? But I won't let you die that easily. Firstly, I'll cut off your arms, then your legs. Then I'll tear your stomach open and feast on your entrails while absorbing the power out of you. Sounds better, doesn't it? As Kurenai stepped forward, holding a kunai in her hand. As Kakashi managed somehow to get to his feet, as Naruto saw that his thumb was all bandaged up. As Naruto sighed, seems you people truly don't understand, he said. Alright then, might as well show you. As Naruto's fangs started to elongate, so did his claws. As his body started to twist and change, until he roared to the heavens. A roar that changed the atmosphere around them. The place started to reek of death. Shino watches all of his bugs collapse dead, shocking him as his body, all of them simply leave him because the toxic, violent output of whatever this was just too much for them. As Shino felt utter fear gripped his heart. Kakashi was breathing heavily as Minma dropped towards one knee. Kurenai dropped. As all of them saw Naruto change in front of them, Hinata had tears in her eyes. As she stepped back in utter fear, unable to stand, she dropped to one knee. As Naruto here had turned completely white, his eyes had changed. They had turned into a void. Nothingness, just emptiness. He had sharp sets of teeth in his mouth that was used to rip through flesh. Black markings were all over his skin. And behind him was two long, demonic wings that looked like claws jetting from his back, but yet they were flapping. Zana said that he would ascend towards his rightful place, and to what he rightfully should be, and that was a monster, a demon, whatever you might call it. The two horns coming from his forehead made it more pronounced. The area was so swelled in darkness that they were finding it hard to breathe. Stop this, Hinata said, as she wondered if he was going to kill her. Do you want them to live? Said Naruto. All you have to do is come with me. No! Hinata, said Minma. She looked back towards him. And you will leave them alone, she asked. Yes. Come with me. You bastard! Don't touch her, said Minma as he got up. Only for Naruto to move forward and slam his knee into Minma's stomach. Minma dropped down to the ground as he coughed up a lot of blood. Kakashi swung his arm after Naruto as Naruto grabbed it and snapped it before kicking the man right in the groin. Kakashi dropped as he collapsed in utter pain. Kurenai got up as she swung her kunai on him. As Naruto turned and black-handed Shino, who tried to attack him with taijutsu. Shino was sent sailing as he broke through a tree. As Kurenai kunai sliced Naruto's chest. Well, it tried to, but the tip of the kunai scraped against something hard. It was like his skin was metal or something. She couldn't understand, as Naruto grabbed her by the throat, forcing her down to her knees. What would be more humiliating, he said, as he reached down towards his pants. Hinata's eyes went wide. No, he wouldn't. I'll come with you, she said. Just leave them. Don't kill them, she said, and I'll come with you. Hinata, said Minma as he got up slowly, feeling utterly disappointed in himself. He felt like crap all this time, and yet he couldn't kill him. Cheer up, little brother, said Naruto. You still have a long way to go. Well, from being pathetic. I wouldn't yet call you decent. You're more like crap right now. Perhaps you can evolve into worm or scum, said Naruto. As his body returned back to normal, he held out his hand as Hinata looked back towards them. She knew that he wanted her. He was what she wanted. And if she went with him, they would die. I'm sorry, she whispered to Minma. Hinata! He screamed as Naruto put his cloak over her, and they vanished. Minma dropped down to his knees, tears leaking from his eyes, as he couldn't believe it. She was gone. He couldn't save her. Minma stood there completely shocked and perplexed by what just happened. He thought he had the power to do it. He thought he could stop him. He thought he could win. After all, he wanted to be the one to do it. He would never call his father to fight his battle. Not his mother, not his sister. He wanted to be the one to take Naruto down. And yet, not only was Naruto fast enough to counter his Jashin, his eyes were fastened to see his entire movements. What? How? Minma planted his face into the dirt, crying in anger and pain and rage. As he couldn't believe it, Kurenai held on to her neck where a nasty black bruise was. As Kakashi winced in pain, losing one of his arms wasn't something good. Over to the side, Shino slowly picked himself up, a nasty black bruise on his face. Ryu and the Inazaka dog was dead. As the group felt utterly defeated. Time skip. Hinata didn't know what happened, but the last thing she remembered was this black veil covering her, and she was unconscious. And no, she was here. She was in a bed. She tried to cover herself because she was only in her bra and her underwear. Her clothes was gone. She looked towards her shoulder and winced, as Minma had quickly lessened the impact on the Rasengan the moment he saw his hand going towards her. But the raw chakra still hit her. But it was nothing to cause her any physical arm problem. As she winced a bit though, she looked towards her arm. She went through hand sign as her hand started to glow green as she started to heal the damage. She didn't know where she was, but from the look of it, she was in some kind of room, a one bedroom. Until she heard the door open up as Naruto stepped in. He wasn't wearing a shirt, just his pants. She quickly scooted back on the bed. "You," she said with murder in her eyes. "I'm gonna kill you." As Naruto simply sighed as he laughed. "Funny, you know, I was never expecting you," he said. "Thought it was gonna be some other Konoha ninja, and I had plans for them, but your group being there was just perfect." "What do you want with me?" she asked. "Oh, isn't that obvious? I'm gonna finally give you what you want. What you have been longing for all these years. Something that Minma is unable to give you. Well, he's too much of a chump to realize what you truly want. And besides, you don't want someone like him who was so pathetic. Not even a real man. Minma is more man than you will ever be." "Oh, is that so?" As Naruto took off his pants in one quick motion. I look to be a man. Good enough." She turned her head, her face slightly red. What do you want?" "As I said, I want you. More specifically, that body of yours. I already told you once before, I don't care about what people say, or what they do, or what they think. I take what I want when I want it, and I know what you want as well. That is why I'm gonna give it to you, in full force," said Naruto. "I must say your splendid body has grown wonderfully over the past couple of years, and it's no time I take what I want." Naruto coughed in his hand. He shrugged it off as nothing. "So, after all these years, I'm gonna finally give you what you've been longing for. Don't worry, I'll bring you back to the village. After, we're both satisfied." "I won't let you touch me," she said. "If you come any closer, I'll hurt you in more ways than one." As her hand started to glow, as she narrowed her eyes, looking over her arms. "Oh, you're looking for that mark that Minma placed on you." "What? Oh, you didn't know? Perhaps it was recently, or just a moment ago. He placed a Harishing mark on you to find you. But you see, I kind of removed it." "What? He did? How? That doesn't matter," said Naruto. "That isn't what you truly want, isn't it? After this, I'll bring you back home. I won't kill you. You're like a flower that I need to pick, and killing you would be a waste of time. and rather stupid for me. Instead, I want you. More to be exact, your body. After all, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, said Naruto as he grabbed her arms and pinned her arms against the wall. So, if you don't want this, you can stop me at any time while fighting back. She found that question rather ridiculous. He pinned her arms to the walls. How could she fight back? As he got closer and closer to her face, her breathing started to get hot, as her entire body was aching for her to do something. As it was too late, as he locked lips with her. Her body tried to fight it, her mind tried to fight it, her heart tried to fight it, but yet, the lust, the desire took over. As he released her arms, she wrapped them around him as he lifted her up and pinned her against the wall. Hinata found herself doing the unthinkable, with someone that she should not. Meanwhile, Minma and the others arrived back at Konoha with their sore defeat. A rather humiliating, pathetic defeat. And Hinata was gone. Ryu was dead. And the only thing on his mind was, he was too weak to stop Naruto even after all this time. He was too weak. Too weak. He couldn't believe it. How weak he was. But guys, it'll be in episode right here. If you want to see the next part, then do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on the bell notification to stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in social media platform. And also, guys, go ahead and check out What If Naruto was neglected and lost everything over an anime king too, and enjoy that, guys. And he also posted a brand new episode of What If Naruto Was a Hope of the Uchiha clan, so go ahead and check out that, guys. But for now, I'm out of here. See you guys soon. Peace out.